Hi guys, John with you again, and it's time for another one of my famous unboxings. As I call them famous unboxings, reason being that I don't know what the parts are called, most of them. All I'm actually doing is to say what's in the box. What way are the tracks? Are they sort of rubber band tracks? Are they link in length? Are they individual links? Is it an old kit? Is it full of, flash and all that kind of stuff? What condition is the plastic in? And generally, what are you paying for? Have a good idea. But just by looking at the sprues, you get a good idea if you're going to enjoy the build or not, if there's enough of it there. Is it just sort of only a couple of small parts, everything is moulded onto it? So most of your work is in the painting and things like that. Or is there a bit of fun in the build? Okay, so the kit we're going to unbox is this one down here. Moving the camera, it's a massive box, as you can see, right? It's quite a large box. It won't fit. It's very hard to get it in view. Basically, what it is the Russian 152mm self-propelled Howitzer MSTA-S. Right. Box art shows a picture of two of them. One appears to be firing, one just sitting there. On the back gives us a couple of pictures of it all made up. Gives a bit of information there telling us about it. It's 1/35 scale, there's 451 parts, and it's 37.8 centimeters long, the completed model. Okay. Also, it's kit number 3630. Okay, 3630. Side of the box, then it just gives us a couple of other kits, right? The T14 Armata, which we made there recently. What do they call it? The Terminator. Okay, I've made that previously as well. You can click back through some of the videos on my channel and you'll see that I've already made these. And the T90, right? The ZVEZDA T90. I've made all three of these. If you want to see any of those, go back through my channel and have a little search and you will find the videos for those. On the other side of the box then it just gives us, shows us a picture of the decal sheet and colour callouts then. What paints are used, be it Humbrol or ZVEZDA. Okay, so you make it out then from yourself what paints you use and what is required. So I'm just going to change all the angle of it and then we'll open the box. Okay, so this seems to be the only position I can get the camera in to get the whole lot in. It's quite a large box. So we open it up and what do you get inside now? We get our instruction sheet. Okay, we'll go through all these things in a minute. We'll go through them one by one. But let's just first have a look at what we get. Right, we've got a bag of sprues here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 sprues in the bag. I think they're all identical. We'll just have a quick look. We'll just open the bag. Three, 4, 5, 6 identical sprues. We'll go through all these in a minute. We'll go through, have a look at them. Right, so we've got 6 of those. Right, I've got a bag here with 2 sprues on it. Well, 1 big sprue and the deck of our vehicle. Another bag here with 2 sprues in it. 2 identical sprues. These are our tracks, so they're link in length tracks. As we can see from that, it's got a length. We've got our decal sheet. Decal transfers stickers, right? It's just a pile of numbers and the decals. We've got our base, our tub, right? Some beautiful detail on the bottom of that tub. We'll have a look at that in a little while again. A large bag of sprues here, one sprue inside in it. It's got some nice big chunky pieces. I'd say it's the top of the turret because it's a massive, massive turret. And we've got our barrel, which appears to be a one-piece barrel. Like I said, we'll go through these sprues one at a time with it. We'll have a quick look at them. Now here's our barrel. So if that's not the barrel, here, oh, that's an unditching log. That's the unditching log at the back. Sorry. Here's our barrel, and our barrel is a two-piece barrel. We've got a large bag of sprues here, 2 sprues on it. We've got most of our track pieces, I'd say, on that, and we've got our barrel as well. And then we've got a clear sprue and a bit of rope. And that's it. That's all that's in the box. So, change the position of the camera again. We'll come down a bit closer and we'll have a look at those parts. Okay, so we'll start with this sprue. There's 6 of these, right? 6 of these sprues. They contain wheels, some suspension parts, tow rope pieces, a couple of handles and things like that. The plastic seems quite nice. It's a nice plastic. ZVEZDA plastic is a bit soft, I find, so when you're cleaning it off, just be careful with your knife. You're not taking off too much. Same if you're sanding off a piece, just be careful. They do tend to be a bit softer than, say, Tamiya plastic or Dragon or any of those. Detail is actually very, very nice on them. You look into the wheels there, right? You got nice bolt detail there on the wheels and on our suspension, right? Yeah, fix yourself. Yep, there we go. Bit of a guide horns there. A couple of the handles, some track parts, handles, tow rope pieces. Haven't a clue what they are, but they're track pieces anyway, and stuff like that. So we've got 6 of these anyway, right? So that is the first of our sprues, and like I said, there's 6 of these. Right. Our next sprue. There are 2 of these. They contain our idler wheel and the drive sprocket. A string there of guide horns, hollowed out guide horns, and a track length piece. So like I said, it's a link in length track, so you're going to have a couple of individual links, and we've also got some long sections. Trying to figure out what half these little pieces are. I haven't the faintest idea. These here, anyway, as far as I know, are towing hitches. You know, they go on the front and the back of the vehicle for attaching the tow ropes and things. Storage box. But the condition of these is quite nice, and the detail on them is very, very nice indeed. As we can see, I mean, there's just one of the storage boxes there and things. Condition is very, very nice on them. There we go. Look at the the drive sprocket there. So nice deep detail in that. So that should pick up washes and all that. Absolutely beautiful. And the storage box there. Nice detail on that. Okay, so like I said, there's 2 of these. Our next sprue. Have to zoom back out again a little bit more. Right, this is our next sprue. It's full of tiny parts. Yes, tiny parts. So there's plenty of tiny parts on it. Like I said, I don't know what they're called, so I'm not even going to attempt to say what they are. But we can have a quick look at the condition of them anyway. Right. There's no flash whatsoever. I haven't seen the tiniest bit of flash. You got your typical sort of Russian style, all these external levers and all that kind of thing for lifting up the exhaust flaps and, you know, air flaps into the engine and cooling things. These are for the front mudguard. I know that because it's the same basically as a T70 something or thereabouts. Don't you love my technical information? I'm so technical, it's absolutely brilliant. But there are loads of tiny little parts there on that sprue, right? And all I can really say about them is the condition is absolutely gorgeous. It really is, and the detailing on them is quite nice, even down to the tiny little parts there. Right. As I said, what each part is, we find out as we build it. But there are, you know, there's light guards and all that kind of stuff on it. All the small little bits and pieces. Loads of them. Loads of them. Nice big sprue of small parts. Okay. So, there's that sprue. Now let's have a look at the top and the bottom before we go and zoom right out again. Well, the last couple of sprues are very, very big indeed. So have a look at our engine deck, right? Or the deck of our vehicle, that's the engine section. Nicely moulded. Some nice, very nicely raised detail on bolts and all that kind of stuff. It's nicely raised, so that, you know, they'll pick up washes beautiful, really, really well, you know. And by the looks of it, you know, and by judging by all the small little parts, there's very, very little that's actually already pre-molded onto it. So that is great news. You know, there's plenty to do if you're into the building side of kits. There's plenty of small parts there to be built. Detail under here is absolutely gorgeous if you want to show the bottom of your vehicle. Not many people do, but the detail is there. Right, it is there. ZVEZDA do a fabulous job with their Russian vehicles, I must say. I think they do better with their Russian vehicles than they do with a lot of their other stuff. But yeah, the underside detail on that is absolutely fabulous, including the escape hatch and everything. Okay, so there's our top and our bottom. And as you can see from that, there's plenty more to be built onto that. Right, there's plenty to be built onto it. So there's our top and our bottom. My bottom and my top. Right, our next sprue is a biggie. So I have to raise the camera just a little bit there. Right, I'll bring this over. Now, on this sprue, we've got our side skirts, our unditching log, side skirts, and I'd say they're the sides of the turret, because the turret is quite large in this, and I can't see them being anything else. The doors are already moulded onto it. They're not going to be separate parts. There's the base of our turret. So these are all, most of these are turret parts. We've got the hatch covers. I presume this is the top of the turret. and some more side panels and things, but very, very nicely detailed, very nicely moulded, no flash, no ejector pin marks, no divots. Divots, what I call divots now, that would be where little sink marks, I suppose some people would call them. It's where you get a kind of a deformity in the plastic where it sinks just that slight little bit. In other words, they're not injecting the correct amount of plastic into it, so it creates a little divot in it. But they are quite nice. They are very, very nice indeed. Right, so that's the first of our big sprues. We have 3 of these big sprues, by the way. Yes. This one here, right? This sprue here has, I presume that's a cupola or something like that. I'm not sure. It's quite large, so I don't really know. No, they're probably at the front of the vehicle, around the wheels and things. But anyway, now we've got our barrel, our multi-piece barrel. Right, all that is our barrel, I'd say. At the barrel itself, these are where it's sort of mounted onto the vehicle, and these would be the pistons there for the recoil. We've got a travel lock for the gun. Some more hatch covers. I'd say they're exhaust pieces or cable covers. One thing I have noticed, a lot of the Russian vehicles have a lot of their cables and things like that on the outside of the vehicle. Not so much, say, more Western stuff, is everything kind of closed off and covered in. But the detail is very nice, very, very nice indeed. It's all there anyway. Lovely mouldings on it. Okay. So now we have the last of our sprues. On this last sprue we've got some more track pieces. It's got a bit of a bend in it. So it's got that tiny little bit of a sag. Same goes here for the guide horns. We have 2 of those. Some more guide horns there. Some more of the track pieces. Suspension pieces. Track. Some of the stowage boxes. There's that panel for the bottom of it. There's our small shooty thing for the barrel, for the on top of the turret. Suspension springs. Very, very nice detail on those. Very nicely detailed indeed. Right, so that's our parts. That's the main parts anyway. We do have a section of clear parts here, and by the look, yeah, I was just about to say it. I wonder, does it have that little bit of Tamiya mesh, or not Tamiya mesh, but ZVEZDA mesh. There we go. Or ZVEZDA mesh. ZVEZDA seem to go for the nylon mesh as opposed to PE. You got to cut them down to size yourself, but once they're on the vehicle, they work just as well as PE. They really, really do. It's just getting the knack of using them. First time I wasn't great with it, but I found that using this as a glue for it, okay, Contact Professional, works absolutely fabulous with this stuff. It really, really does. We've got a bit of rope for the tow rope, or you can make your own with wire. Just twist up the wire. If you watched my video on the M10 Achilles, I did a bit of wire twisting in that one. We've got our clear parts for vision blocks, headlights, that kind of thing. Right, so there isn't very many clear parts, but they're there anyway. They're parts and they're clear. See, like I said, a good technical unboxing. We put everything into its little bag so they don't get lost. Even though I'm not going to use that bit of a little bit of thread, I prefer to make my own. Where sometimes when they're molded in plastic, they look very good. But in general, I'm not a fan of the nylon or the bit of thread. Not a fan of that. We've got our decal sheet, right? So we've got our parade decals, or your operational decals, and then a load of numbers. So you can basically put your own number to it, your own favourite numbers or whatever, or you can copy one if you find photographs of one and you say to yourself, oh, that's number 667. There's plenty of numbers there to do that, right? Sort of just 3 of each number by the looks of it, or 6 of each number, should I say. So there's enough for 3 of each side. Yeah, there's 6 of each number. So you've plenty of Russian numbers there and plenty of other decals. So finally we get down to the instruction manual, right? It's booklet form. They're not loose, they're stapled. There's a bit of safety information. Right, so we'll start off anyway. On the front cover here, we get the picture of it from the box art, scale, what it is, sort of some useful advice, as they call it there, and whether you're going to do version 1 or version 2. Right, version 2 is in its travelling position and version 1 is deployed. Alright, I'll probably go for this one. It's a mobile moving position, okay, with the travel lock on the gun. Such a large gun, it's just much easier to do it that way. I'm not going to do a dial or anything like that for it, so you know, bits sticking out the back, it's just going to be harder for displaying it. So I'm going to go for this version here. So make note at the start whether you're going to do version 1 or version 2, because there might be some other little parts within it that you've got to do for version 1 or version 2. So I'm doing version 2. First 2 pages, it gives us our sprue maps. Then we're into assembly. Right, so we're starting on the engine deck, and straight away we're into putting on the mesh in behind the grills. We've also here on the side all the little sub-assemblies to do, and we've got we're making up the all the little storage boxes and all that, as you can see. So we're going to get all the storage boxes and things like that on it. Then we're onto the lower hull, and we're putting on our return rollers along the top, drive sprocket main wheels, skid plate or bash plate or whatever that is. Then we're putting in our wheels, our suspension and all that. Putting on our tracks, all our towing eyes and things, our own ditching log, tow rope, light guards and lights, our small shooty thing. Then we're into the big gun, we're into the turret section now. So we've got putting the pistons there for the recoil system, building up the center of the here where the gun is held, adding on our machine gun, fitting the top to the bottom of it, and you can see it's a massive big blocky square turret. It's like the 155 Paladin, the American version. This would be the Russian version of the same thing really. It's your mobile artillery. and I presume they operated in the same way that the Americans would have, sort of well to the rear, because the range in these things would be quite massive. Loads of small little bits and pieces there. They all have to go on. And there she is finished, and then we've got her colour callouts then for they're just giving a sort of a plain green colour scheme for it. But if you look through the internet and just go into ordinary Google, Google the vehicle itself, then go on to images, and you can get plenty of pictures of them. I've looked at quite a few, and there's quite a few of them then have camouflage schemes, and more than likely I'm going to pick up one of them, because the old plain green is a bit dull and boring. If you can stick a camouflage scheme on it, I like to go for the camouflage scheme. It looks nicer. Alright, so that's it. That's our unboxing. Next thing to do is just get stuck in and get it made. Alright, so the unboxing for the MSTA-S, if it's in Russian, or the MSTA-S in English, and it's a Russian 152mm self-propelled howitzer. There we go, that's the unboxing. Don't forget to give it the old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you've not already subscribed. If you have, thank you very much, I do appreciate it. And join me for the build. I'll be doing the build in segments, sort of build update 1, 2 and 3. I kind of build a bit, well, I look at the instructions, look at what I'm going to do, build that, go back then and we talk about any problems I had with that, or any fiddly bits and things like that, and things to watch out for if you're going building this yourself, and just a few hints and tips as we fly through the build. So don't forget, join me for the build of this, and should be quite nice. So until then, lads, stay safe, enjoy your modelling, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it. It's John signing off. I'll catch you on the next one, lads. Stay safe.